So if you need to solve this equation, we need to get rid of the square root. We'll never be able to get x by itself if it's in a square root. So what you can do is you can square both sides. One thing you really want to avoid, though, is don't say that this is x squared minus 9 squared, minus 3 squared, because there's no distributed power of exponents. The two can't come down and be a power to both of those. Exponents don't obey that distributed property. So make sure you put a parentheses around the whole right side when you square it. So this left side, squaring a square root just makes it go away. And then the right side looks like x minus 3 squared. And we're going to evaluate that x minus 3 all being squared by multiplying it out. Because something being squared means it's something times itself. So yeah, when you multiply out that right side, that's x squared minus 3x plus 9. So we can simplify a little bit more. But as you're simplifying, the one thing you should recognize is that this is a quadratic equation. The highest power is x squared. There's no other square roots or funny business or anything like that. So anytime you have a quadratic, you want to solve it by setting it equal to 0. So that means I can subtract this x from both sides. And then I can subtract that 3 from both sides. And now it's set equal to 0. Okay, so it's a quadratic. You could use the quadratic formula where a is 1, where b is negative 7, or c is 6. But the best way to solve this one is by factoring it. It's a plain old x squared. There's no number in front of it, so we can jump right to our two parentheses, start them off with an x. That way when they multiply, they make x squared. And now we just need two numbers that multiply to be positive 6, but add to be negative 7. So I'm on a negative 6 and a negative 1. Those multiply to be positive 6. Those add up to be negative 7. So that's the factored form. And when things are factored, you just have to set each parentheses equal to 0. X equals 6 would make this whole side equal 0. And then if x equals positive 1, that sets that whole side equal to 0. So these are your two solutions. X equals 6 and x equals 1.